Hey guys, welcome back to another F1 2021 video. Before we begin, if you are enjoying these videos, please do leave likes on them. I would really appreciate that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Just spam the comments, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that. That would help me out quite a lot. So without further ado, let's jump straight back into the My Team Career mode for Cross GT Racing. So we've just come off a victory in Belgium, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, after two retirements in the two following race weekends. We really needed it, so hopefully we can carry on this form through into the next races.
And make an executive decision here.
Of course you do. So we can either, I guess we can apologise on their behalf, or we can just fire them.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
We'll take the team acclaim. Yeah, the morale's going to go down, but it's only a little bit. We just kind of want to get more team acclaim as well. Try and get towards that acclaim level 25.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Cool, so we've got some more parts coming through. We marketing department needs to take a look at something.
Regarding our driver. How do you want to handle this?
Well, we can either get cash and lose driver pace, or we can take a little bit of cash and actually gain driver pace. So that's an easy one, because that amount of cash is pretty insignificant to us at this point. We need a lot of money coming in. 37k isn't going to really do much. Alright, so quick turnaround from the previous race weekend. We're now heading off to Italy, to Monza, which is one of the fastest tracks on the calendar. We're going to change some components for this race because it's such a high speed track. We kind of want to have just our parts to be as fresh as possible. We can probably afford to take grid penalties in this race just to ensure that we do have maximum performance, because there aren't really many opportunities to pass in the corners here, and the corners they're not overly technical. There are a couple of chicanes, but it's not really, I won't say that you can't gain time during them, but it's all about speed at Monza. So we complete practice. We've got heaps of resource points now. We're at the point now where I'm starting to save resource points for regulation changes for next season. We have quite a few parts, R&D parts, and I don't really want to lose them. So we're going to keep saving those points. And we're also going to be trying to save, we'll start looking at saving money as well, because we're going to need to either renew Button's contract or possibly look at another driver coming into the team. I haven't actually decided yet what I'm going to do, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes. I will make a decision probably sort of before the last race of the season, as we head to qualifying now. Qualifying in the wet, so similar to the Belgian Grand Prix, where we were also qualifying in the wet there, but here we start straight on the inters, and the track is supposed to be drying up at the end of qualifying, but depending on how things go, I'm not sure if we will really get a chance on the soft tyres or the mediums, whichever one you pick. Probably the softs, because it's Monza, but the forecast did say it was going to be right at the end, so I don't know if anyone will actually have time to get a proper lap in on dry tyres. So we're going to focus on the inters as we come up to the chicane at 4 and 5. We're already a second. We've cut across the corner, but we didn't accelerate through, so it doesn't invalidate the lap. But we do lose about 3/10 there. But our car does have really good acceleration out of these corners, which I'm hoping will be the I guess, the advantage that we have over the AI here, because I mean straight line speed, they've got that, but I feel like we can carry more speed through the corners as we go purple through sector 2, and we come up to the S's at 8, 9, 10. Went through there really well, 9/10 up on our previous best. Another long straight as we come down to the final corner at turn 11. This long right-hander, you can accelerate early, get a good jump. We're losing time though, we kind of messed that up, but we're still 6/10 up.
That's the fastest lap so far. Well done.
And we end up we get pole, but then everyone else, or all the later runners, ended up having a stint on the softs. So we finished on the inters. We didn't have enough time to get back out to do another lap, along with both Mercedes, Charles Leclerc as well, a bunch of the top guys not getting there. So we've got Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Schwartzman, Russell, Stroll, all in the top 10 on the starting grid. Button in 16th on the inters. He would have finished higher up if the other guys didn't get that chance to go on the softs. We would have finished in pole, but it's just not meant to be. But we are going to be taking grid penalties because of the other parts that we put on the car, so that's not going to be good for our starting position, but I think we should still have a good chance in this race.
It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6 mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Stroll, Russell, Robert Schwartzman, and Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Bottas and Charles Leclerc. Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty. Perez, Jenson Button and Ocon. Gasly, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso and Antonio Giovinazzi. Mazepin, Hamilton, Joe and the captain. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Alright, sounds good to me, Jeff. So we're starting at the back of the grid after the grid penalties we took for all the extra components that we put on. But that's alright, we can still have a decent run at this. So we're going to be starting on the mediums, 15 laps in the mediums and then onto the softs. We're starting from the back, so I'm not too worried about staying ahead of everyone else as we're off and away here at Monza. I'm not too worried about trying to stay ahead because I'm obviously behind. We can hopefully just capitalise on a lot of DRS to help us keep up with the rest of the pack. But these slow corners at the start are not going to help us at all, as we manage to get up in front of Zhou into 21, into P21. Lewis Hamilton jumps up into 19th. I'm pretty sure he started 20th. So we'll see how our current championship leader fares in this race as we give Mazepin a little bit of tap on the rear end there. Take that how you want. But we don't have any front wing damage, luckily. But yeah, we're being held up by these guys. We need to start getting past them. ERS activated. We just get in front of Mazepin. Hamilton just jumps in front of Giovinazzi. So the two of us are trying to make our way through the pack. I'm grouping myself with Hamilton because I feel like I can justify myself as a top driver by saying I'm following him through the pack. ERS, we're just going to keep on burning through this ERS as we have a good run on Giovinazzi. We've got plenty of straight line speed. Lando Norris is currently P1. It looks like it's a McLaren 1 and 2. As Ricciardo is just behind him. Lap 1 completed, we are now up into P19. Nothing really happening on lap 2, but lap 3 Gasly gets in front of us. But we managed to get around the inside of him at turn 2 through the end of that chicane. P18, Hamilton up into P16. Both just making our way through the pack, trying to get up into that top 10 at least. We was making a really late dive on Sonoda. We managed to get the job done. We came from miles back to get that one. Damn right we did, Jeff. We're now starting to gain on Hamilton. Oh, we're going to make a run around the outside. But we go too wide. Try to cut back on the inside. Oh, we don't quite have the power. We're stuck on these medium tyres. But we've got the DRS. So we're going to get pulled along by these guys.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag. Now Lando Norris is out of the Grand Prix after leading this race. He is now out after only 3 laps. But McLaren will still be happy that Ricciardo is running away with us right now. So here we are on with Lando, and he just has a mechanical failure just as he crosses the start-finish line. And there goes his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who takes over the lead of this race, and he's now got a sizable lead here in this race. It doesn't look like a huge amount on the map, but because Monza is such a high-speed track, as we try to make a run up the outside of Hamilton, and we get it done, I think. Yes, we do. Duck back around. Ocon goes defensive. Oh, can we get up the outside of him? Oh, and I think we do. Yes, we do. We get up the outside of Ocon. What a move there. That was risky. But we get 2 of them there. So we'll take another look. We just get a good run. Hamilton gets caught up in the dirt a little bit. Loses a bit of speed. We've got DRS. We try to go to the inside of Ocon. We go back to the outside. We clip the wall with our back tyre, actually. And Ocon going defensive has to put on the brakes a lot harder than us to get around that corner. Gives us an opening on the outside. And we take it. And we're now P14 as we just make a quick move on Schumacher there. We've got the speed on him with the DRS now. 4 laps down, we're up to P13. We've now got our teammate Jenson Button ahead of us. Oh, we're thinking about a move there, but we decide not to. I'd rather not take risky moves on my teammate. But we're doing pretty well here, making our way through the pack on these medium tyres. We're just not quite making it. Oh, we mess up there a little bit at 4 and 5, and we've lost a little bit of time to Button, but we should be able to get it back here at 6 and at 7. And just like that, we're back up 5 tenths, 4 tenths behind. We've got DRS. We're pulling away from Schumacher. Ocon's now ahead of him, 1.7 seconds behind us. I don't know where Hamilton is. I think Hamilton might still be back in 16. ERS enabled. We're trying to make a run here on our teammate. I think he's a little bit too far ahead. Might be able to make a late run down the inside. No, we decide not to, but we go around the outside. Oh, we're stretching the limits of the track right there. We managed to get around the outside of both Button and Latifi there.
A second faster than the car ahead. Keep this up.
Oh, look at that. There's our teammate right next to us. Or was that Latifi? I think it was Latifi. Couldn't quite tell. Yes, it was Latifi who was right alongside us there. We managed to hold him off P11 now. We're almost up in the points. Unfortunately, it does look like Ricciardo is still like keeping his distance to us. So even though we're making our way, as Alonso goes up on 2 wheels, and he managed to hold on. There's the experience of the 2-time Drivers' Champion right there, managing to hold on to it. That could have been disastrous for the Alpine as we come right up behind him. A little bit of a tap. We're getting so lucky that we're not taking any front wing damage in this race. We're pushing to the absolute limit. I've got a good run through the S's. We've got some speed. ERS enabled. We're going to try and make a run on Alonso. Oh, but we just can't. He's got the slipstream of Schwartzman. Can we go down the inside of both? We go right down the inside of both. We get 2 for 1 there. Can we get a run on Sainz as well? ERS. We're up against the Ferrari. We just managed to get ahead.
2.5 seconds.
And we ended up getting the DRS there. So even though Sainz was behind us, we were still given the DRS because we were actually behind them at that point. Let's take another look at this passage of play right here. Try to look up the outside, but we just can't get there as Alonso has the slipstream on Schwartzman. So we decide to opt down the inside. It's 3 wide. We managed to get around them, and then we have a run on the inside of Sainz here. We use the ERS. We're given the DRS here, so we get the advantage over him, and we're off and away, and we get 3 positions in that one corner. Lap 7, we are now P8. We're more than a second clear of Alonso.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
We've just set the fastest lap of 1:23.8 here in this race right now on medium compound tyres. We're utilising every ounce of ERS that we've got, using the DRS to absolute perfection. Looks like we're changing our strategy. We're going to be pitting a lap later for softs, maybe 2 laps later. I think we were pitting on P on lap 15, and I think that said that we're now pitting on lap 17. So tyre wear, not an issue at all, as we just go straight up the inside of Stroll as easy as you like. P7 now. Ricciardo up the road. He's just got up to that chicane, so I think we are slowly gaining on him. As Stroll with the DRS just goes straight back in front of us. But that's okay, because we have still made up some ground on the race leaders.
We need to stay on form.
Not stressing at all, Jeff. If we want to get up into the podium, we need to make up ground on Ricciardo. These guys in front of us are not of much of a consequence if that is the only goal that we've got. Use them to get the DRS, and if they get DRS on us, we're not losing any ground. We're simply leapfrogging to try and get a better shot at the front. As we get DRS, we got DRS, but we haven't activated it. I don't know why. I think I just forgot to activate it there. But we managed to get past Stroll anyway. As we go onto the gravel, we hold on to it though. Luckily, it's only a short gravel pit. But Stroll now has a run on us as he tries to go down the inside. No, he decides not to. He thinks better of it. But we've got a good run on Russell. We've gained 4 tenths on him in that corner. But unfortunately, we weren't close enough to him to be able to get that DRS. But we're right behind him now. Oh, as we go up into the air, onto the gravel. And we have Stroll and Alonso both get past us. And now we've dropped back down to P9 after a simple unforced error. Just a simple mistake, and it's cost us 2 positions. Here we go, ERS and DRS enabled. We're alongside Alonso. We can't get past them, but Stroll's right there. Stroll goes defensive on Alonso, which opens up the door for us, and we get past both. Wow, we managed to get past thanks to a little assist there from Stroll. No replay for that one, unfortunately. But man, that was lucky for us. He could have picked to stay in front of us or to go defensive on Alonso. He goes defensive on Alonso and gives us all the room that we need to take both positions. And now we're back behind Russell. We've got DRS. We use it. And we've got all the speed in the world over the Williams there. Williams? He's racing Williams. As we go purple through sector 2. Sorry, I just kind of forgot which team he was with. Purple through sector 2. We're now P6. Now it's just about trying to get through each lap as quickly and cleanly as possible. Leclerc is now 3.3 seconds. No, they're in the pits. Leclerc, Verstappen and Ricciardo all in the pits going onto medium tyres.
Jensen is in the pits. Jensen in the pits. We're leading our teammate by 5.3 seconds.
Alright, so now all those front runners are going on to mediums, which means that they are now stuck a little bit further back in the pack. They've got Ocon and Schwartzman to get past, and I think Russell as well. Maybe, no, Russell's a bit further back. Or maybe he's in the pits. But anyway, we've got 2 cars between us and Ricciardo now. Hopefully they get held up by them as Perez and Bottas have both gone to the pits now as well to go onto the medium compound tyres. So now we should be the only car that has not gone in for a pit stop yet. Still racing on medium compound tyres. Ricciardo and Verstappen now back up into the top 3. Ricciardo, our effective race leader right now, 10.4 seconds behind us. But he's on fresh mediums. We're on mediums that are 12 laps old. It's going to be a bit of a battle for us to stay ahead. But if we can maintain a decent gap on these guys, it's only going to help us when we go onto the softs. Purple through sector 2 again. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We're actually gaining time on them. Ricciardo's now 11.5 seconds behind us. We've gained about a second on him that lap. But we were pushing as hard as we could there. First lap, I think the first proper lap that we've had with completely open track in front of us. So we're really pushing now. We go a bit wide. We don't brake enough. We go very wide there at turn 11. Luckily we haven't lost too much time on Ricciardo now.
You'll be on the softs.
Alright, so another lap and then we'll be, well, another 2 laps and we'll be in the pits onto the soft compound tyres. Ricciardo's now only 10 seconds behind us. That time is starting to drop. I just want to maintain a 10-second gap. It's only a few tenths between Ricciardo. Oh, it's Verstappen in front actually. Verstappen has passed Ricciardo. I was looking at the times, I wasn't looking at the names. So now Verstappen in P2. And he's now less than 10 seconds behind us. And with a pit stop still for us to make, it's going to be a fight to get to the front at the end. Perez 15 seconds behind, then Leclerc 19 seconds, well, now Leclerc 20 seconds. So I think if we go into the pits, we might be able to get out ahead of Leclerc, possibly, I'm not sure. But that's the goal. Is Antonio Giovinazzi is now out of this race. I can't imagine it's any sort of damage. He's sort of out on his own through the S's and then just mechanical failure there. As his teammate goes past him, Joe taking over that position. But that's unfortunate there. For Giovinazzi, we go wide.
Incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Alright, thanks for that, Jeff. There's Giovinazzi there parked up on the side of the track. We're now up to 10 seconds the gap between first and second. Hopefully that will help us out. We're going to keep exhausting our ERS.
We're boxing this lap.
Alright, we're now heading into the pits. End of this lap. 10.2 seconds on Verstappen. So we're managing to maintain that gap on old medium tyres. Which means that when we go onto the softs, hopefully that'll be our time to shine. But for all we know, this could be a medium track and not a soft compound track. But it's a high-speed track, so soft compound is probably the way to go. Into the pits now, as Verstappen and Ricciardo are just coming around turn 11 to cross the start-finish line. And there they go, they've just passed us as we get into our shed.
Go, go, go.
What was that? 3.1 second pit stop. As Leclerc is now making moves.
Look
Leclerc and
after these
Bottas.
tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Oh, so we get out of the pits P6 on the softs. Leclerc and Bottas just managed to get past us. Now Ricciardo and Verstappen 1 and 2 are fighting it out. They're way up at turns 4 and 5 already. Perez has just finished around turn 3. Then it's Leclerc, Bottas and myself all battling it out back here for 4th, 5th and 6th. But they're all on mediums, we're on softs. They're a little bit cold at the moment. It's going to take a lap to really warm them up, but we're already starting to see some potential as we have an excellent run of Bottas, just straight past him. DRS enabled, we made that look so easy. Just excellent exit out of that corner, and the soft compound tyres. We go purple through sector 2. Got to run on Leclerc. We don't go wide that time. We're in the slipstream, we're in Leclerc's slipstream, we've got the ERS. We go to the outside. He's not going to try and defend. And there we go, P4. Now we've got a 3.2 second gap to Perez. Ricciardo 9.7 seconds ahead. Got to try and close that gap somehow. Perez 1.6 in front. Lap 20, we've got 8 laps to go. We could do this, we can catch up. It's going to take some work, but I think we can do it. As Ricciardo and Verstappen are just up to 4 and 5 now. We've just come around 2 and 3, so we've already gained a lot of time just through that sector. Sector 1 we go purple. 1.1 seconds to Perez now. We're probably not going to get DRS at this rate. Oh, we're into DRS range. As we come around the corner there, around 7. I think, or 6. 7, yeah, 7. DRS not enabled again on Perez. It's either I'm like just forgetting to activate it, or I'm just a bit too trigger happy on that triangle button and I'm just pushing it too soon. But that's alright, we managed to get past Perez anyway. Green through sector 2. We're side by side with Perez. He backs out early and we end up taking that position. P3 now, so it's 6 seconds now the gap between ourselves and the top 2 is Ricciardo.
Leading our teammate by 19.5 seconds.
So we're well ahead of Button, so I'm not sure really how he's performing. But we have just posted a 1:22.1 fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We already had the fastest lap, but now we've just destroyed another second off that time. And now the real battle begins as Ricciardo has taken the lead back from Verstappen. It's now 6.5 second gap between us being in third and us taking the lead of this race. They're on mediums, we're on softs. We're getting consistent purples through sector 2, so this here could really be, this could be interesting as they're just going down the straight. They're coming to the end. They're at 8, 9 and 10 now. And we are closing in fast. And it looks like Perez is getting a little bit of a tow from us. ERS deployed. Ricciardo and Verstappen just going around turn 11 now, so we've managed to gain about 1.5 seconds that lap. We're really pushing hard though. But even with all that pushing, we still go red through all 3 sectors. Half a second slower than our previous lap. But that's alright, because we can see them. We can see Ricciardo and Verstappen just up ahead. All we've got to do is keep pushing. And we'll eventually catch them. Here we go, we saw them into the chicane this time. 2.7 the gap to Ricciardo now as Verstappen has gone back in front. So these two are trading first and second. We're now on the straight along with them. But their battling is actually slowing them down. Coming through the chicane, they're 1.5 seconds ahead. Coming out of the chicane, we are now within DRS range of both of them. So their squabbling is actually slowing them down to the point that I've managed to catch up in about 4 laps. Right, now is the time. Now's the time to pick our spot. We want to be aggressive, but we have time. We've got about 3.5 laps. And it looks like we might be preparing for a move here. We get a really good run there on Ricciardo. DRS enabled, and we are right back up in the fight. P2 Ricciardo is now making a move on us. He's got the speed, but he pulls out late. Oh, we have an excellent run through there on Verstappen. We've got so much speed. He will be enabling that AI Super ERS. Oh, we're right there. We brake late, we stay on the outside. Oh, almost had contact there. But we managed to get ahead as Verstappen goes back in front again. We get DRS this time. Verstappen, with that late pass on us, ends up giving us the DRS. We go back in front. Oh, late braking. Oh, that is an untidy chicane. But we're now back in P1. No pit stops left. It's now a straight run to the finish. We've now got a 1.2 second gap to Verstappen. I don't think they'll be able to catch us on those medium tyres now, as we make quick work of Mazepin. 1.8 seconds now the gap to Verstappen. We get DRS thanks to Mazepin there as well, so that's only going to help our cause. Ricciardo goes back in front of Verstappen now. They're still battling. I think the fight for P1 might be over unless I can make a pretty big mistake. As Verstappen has dropped back half a second, or 4 tenths on Ricciardo there, through that chicane. All we've got to do is make sure we don't make any mistakes. A nice run through that chicane. We don't lose too much time there. But we're going to gain it all back through sector 2. Final lap of the race. We're heading down towards the final corner. Verstappen is 4.2 seconds behind. We managed to go from last to first and win by more than 4 seconds in a dominant display here at Monza. Back-to-back wins.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
Oh, what a race, what a strategy. Driver of the day, rightfully so, last to first here in Monza. Another win for Cross GT Racing.
Here we are then, a real team effort to overcome their rivals for a memorable win here today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
Oh, it looks good. It's looking so good. That trophy in our hands. As we managed to come back from last to first. A bold strategy starting with the mediums when we're at the back of the pack, but luckily all that DRS managed to keep us in the fight. Lewis Hamilton from P20 all the way up into P7 gets himself some much needed points in the championship to stay ahead. Max Verstappen P2, Daniel Ricciardo in P3. We also got the fastest lap, so there's an extra point for us. Button managed to get P11. Yet to gain any points this season, but that's probably more down to the car as opposed to the driver. But that's alright, a win for us. That now pushes us up into P6 in the driver's standings. 95 points. We're only 2 points behind Daniel Ricciardo now. And we are 13 points clear of Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Hamilton maintains his lead, 35 points ahead of Verstappen. Bottas 42 behind and Perez 43 behind. So there's still, the four of them are still in with a chance to win that title. Mercedes are still easily taking the constructors' standings. Well, not easily, but they're still ahead. Red Bull 36 points behind them, and then McLaren 134 behind them. So it's a two-horse race at this point in the season for the constructors. I don't see that changing. I don't see Ferrari or McLaren picking up major points and getting back in that fight. So they will be battling it out for P3. But what a race that was. I mean, I backed myself from the start, knew I was going to be able to get through the back part of the pack, but trying to catch up to the guys at the front, that was where the problem was going to be. Luckily those extra parts probably played a big role, considering that the AI seems to take a few grid penalties towards the end of the season. Probably not willing to gamble on fresher parts and take grid penalties, whereas we did, knowing that those parts would give us that advantage. Plus we just seem to have much better speed going through some of those corners than the AI, which really helped us out. But at the end of the day, we came away with a win, a dominant win. That's now 2 wins in a row, back-to-back wins for Cross GT Racing. Let's see if we can maintain this form going forward. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. I certainly enjoyed this video. I enjoyed racing this race. Monza is an excellent track to drive on. It's a lot of fun. Also, let me know in the comments what you thought. What you thought of this race. What your thoughts are going forward. Also, if there's anything else, like any other comments you'd like to make about just things you want me to do in this game, or maybe even just other games you would like to see me play, then do feel free to leave those in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I do really appreciate all the support that you guys give me, and subscribing to the channel is one of the best ways you can support me here on YouTube. So that brings this race weekend to an end. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one, where maybe we might even be able to pull off a 3rd win in a row. I'll see you next time.